Hello, everyone. I'm Brianna Holloway, the marketing manager with the MSL Society. And today we have Shelley Brown and Andrew Kocher, who are both MSLs with Vericel Corporation. Hi, Shelley and Andrew. How are you doing today?
We're doing great. It's nice to be here and talking with you.
Awesome.
Hello, it's wonderful.
Awesome. So, the seventh annual MSL Society Conference is just a few weeks away, and both of you will be presenting together on successfully navigating the medical device world as an MSL. Such an interesting topic. So, I have a few questions I wanted to ask you about your upcoming presentation. So, what are two ways an MSL can demonstrate success in medical devices?
I think I'll grab that one. I think there are multiple ways that an MSL can be successful in the medical device world. I think one of them really is understanding how to approach the conversation with a KOL or someone else within the healthcare field, really knowing how to explain the technology, being able to develop very quality relationships during the entire life cycle of that particular medical device or product, and then really identifying what the goals, needs, and preferences are of that KOL or healthcare practitioner, especially within the device world, because there's a lots of hands-on questioning and hands-on experience that is actually required with that type of product and with a biomedical device overall. So I think the top two ways are number one, approaching the conversation that's very data driven and making sure that we present data in a very neutral and non-biased way. And not only presenting the data in a non-biased way, but also being able to know the depth of your technology. So really being able to have those conversations and have it be data driven and be very in depth in the knowledge. And then secondly, really being able to identify how do you add value to that particular KOL or healthcare practitioner, researcher, whomever may be involved in the entire patient care process, where you're identifying exactly what they're asking, what the needs are, the environment within that particular hospital, OR, or research environment and setting, and really being able to be that voice of science and information in that setting. So I think those are the top two ways that you can really start to navigate this type of world.
Okay. Awesome. That I think you pretty much summed it all up. I mean, Andrew, do you have anything that you would like to add or?
No, I don't think I can state that any better than Shelley.
Awesome. Okay.
Oh, that's doubtful.
Awesome. Okay. So, what are some of the differences between an MSL in medical device and an MSL in pharma?
That's a really good question. What comes to mind as one of the biggest differences that I've experienced is being present in the operating room during a case and providing value to the surgeon in terms of the knowledge of the product and device, the data in reference to the device and its use. And it provides that unique situation where, as Shelley mentioned, you have to have a command of the data and be able to communicate it well. But especially whenever you're in the setting of the operating room where the surgeon is wanting to make a decision on the best course of action for that patient with maybe a potentially unique presentation upon opening. And so you're providing the data to the surgeon upon which the surgeon may be making an alternative decision or what the surgeon feels is in the best interest of the patient. But you have to have a good command of that data so you can do a quick recall and explanation. So the best treatment is provided, or optimal treatment is provided to the patient, and it's certainly the unique aspect whenever you're in that potentially pressure situation, a time sensitive situation, and multiple moving parts within the OR to have the confidence and ability to speak to that, to provide the appropriate information for the surgeon.
Awesome. Okay. Awesome. Shelley, is there anything, or Andrew pretty much summed that up as well?
As expected, I
Awesome.
have nothing more to add. I couldn't agree more.
Awesome. Such a great team. Love it. Okay. So how have you, in this question, you both may continually to be on the same page, or you both might have your own perspective, but how have you been able to navigate success in the medical device world?
If I can jump in for this one, I would definitely say be open,
Right.
be flexible, and be accurate. I think that Andrew brings up such an interesting point, and it really does point out a way that we've been able to hopefully demonstrate success in the medical device world. And what I think one of the greatest differences is you are required to also make very informed and accurate decisions in very pressure-driven settings, i.e., the OR. So I think one of the best ways that I've been able to navigate success is just be open, be flexible, be agile, and you have to be accurate in any type of environment. We could get a phone call from a sales rep that's heading into a surgery, and they've got X, Y, and Z complicating factors that just came up at the hospital, and the surgeon's asking them questions, and of course they kick it over to the medical team. Or as an MSL, we are actually in the OR, and it's very it's very awe-inspiring to see how everyone in the OR is really dedicated to just making sure things are best for the patient,
Right.
and that's all that matters. So a lot of times, sometimes like just authority and hierarchy of structure is thrown out of the window, and surgeons are asking questions about, well, if this is what's going on here, how does the device work? What's the correct placement? We are very, very vocal from a technology standpoint, not from a medical advice standpoint, but from a technology standpoint while in the OR. And I think that really requires you to be agile, to be very flexible, and to make sure that you know the technology so that you give as accurate of an answer as possible, even while the patient is on the operating table. So I think knowing how to wear multiple hats, and as I said, being agile. I think those are the main things that I've had to learn in order to navigate success. What do you think, Andrew?
Okay.
I agree with that, Shelley, and I think confidence is a key component of being able to perform in those settings, and the confidence comes from significant preparation. And that preparation is not only knowing your product, knowing the data and the supportive science behind your product, knowing where there may be weaknesses within that product or where it's not appropriate for your product. And again, that's based upon the data. But then preparation in terms of knowing your surgeon or your KOL, thought leader, knowing the aspects to, for example, if it is going to be in the OR, knowing some of the dynamics. And so as you're coming into those situations, even if it is a last minute development, it's asking the appropriate questions to prepare yourself, not only, that content standpoint, I would say, but also just the dynamic standpoint and that emotional intelligence side that goes so far, so that way you know when to speak up and how to speak, and when silence sometimes is more powerful than being vocal.
Exactly. Yes, I love that.
Absolutely. So be prepared.
Right.
Be prepared, be agile, and be accurate.
Awesome. Okay. Well, thank you both for sharing just through your eyes and your experience, and also being able to take time to answer these questions so that way our listeners out there can know a little bit more about what you will be speaking on. And so to everyone who is listening, make sure you register today to learn more about successfully navigating the medical device world as an MSL, which will be presented by Shelley Brown and Andrew Kocher, both MSLs with Vericel.